I cannot even see myself. This ring light is too bright. How about we go for cozy full lighting? Because I'm actually being blinded. Welcome back or welcome to my channel. So Zoe has been inspiring the masses with autumn vibes, and I am getting excited. So I know we're like a little bit too early because it starts, you know, later in September, but sometimes we need a little bit of time to prepare our TBRs. So I'm gonna give you some recommendations. Personally, I go based on vibes, and not all of these have autumn descriptions or whatever, but they feel like they are set in autumn. So that's what we're gonna be doing today. I have all these, and let's just get into it. So my first recommendation is, of course, Stalking Jack the Ripper by Carrie Maniscalco. I think this is also, you know, this is one that doesn't really describe autumn, but it's just like a cozy, chilly mystery with like a little bit of romance. It's like, you know, that's how much romance is in this book. But it's mostly like just a slightly creepy romance. It's a slightly creepy mystery, and I feel like cozy mysteries, which I don't know if you would consider this a cozy mystery. Not really, but it just, I feel like it gives cloudy leaves on the ground, dark ambiance. This, one of my top recommendations for autumn. Like it, I probably should tell you what this is about. Okay, so this is a main character, Audrey Rose. She likes to cut bodies open. So this takes place in like the 1800s, I think. So she's not really, you know, it's not really acceptable for her to be in this line of work, but she enjoys it. So she's gonna do what she wants to do. So it's kind of about that, but she also gets caught up in like murders going around, you know, the Ripper murders, obviously. And she has like a partner in crime, partner in opposite of crime, Thomas Cresswell. And they kind of work together and just have a partnership and solve murders. It's very fun. So the next book is For Your Own Good by Samantha Downing. I haven't even finished this. As you can see, I'm that far in. I love this book so much already. If I were to rate it now, I would give it like 5 stars. You know, obviously I can't really say that for 100% because it could get really bad. But right now it's giving top tier autumn. It takes place in a school, and you get multiple perspectives of like people that work at the school or the students. So we have like a couple teachers, a couple students, I think, and everybody's like a little suspicious, but you don't know what you're suspicious over. Like so far, I don't even know what's going on, but I'm still liking it. But I really like the main character, who I know is the guy that's like probably killed somebody. I can't even give you the plot because I don't know. But his name is Teddy, and I love Teddy unless he did something horrible in the rest of the book. But so far, I love Teddy. But yeah, anyways. So it's like kind of like dark academia, but I wouldn't say, could I say light academia? I feel like light academia is a good description of this book because so far it's not super dark. When I picture it, I don't picture super dark. I picture light academia and leaves. But yeah, anyway, so far I would definitely recommend this for fall. The next book I would recommend is Home Before Dark by Riley Sager. Let me try and explain this. It kind of is like The Haunting of Hill House, the show. I haven't read the book, but anyways. So this is about a girl who comes back to her childhood home alone, where as she was a child, she had like weird experiences there, and she didn't know which was real or was not. And her dad wrote a book about like the experiences in the house, and she was returning, and we just kind of go through it and see if it was like happening or not. But this also definitely gave fall. I don't want to say that for every book because this is the whole point of the video, so just assume, you know, it gave fall. But yeah, it was like, I don't want to say if it's speculative or not because that's kind of the whole point of the book, so I won't say that. The next book I have is Truly Devious by Maureen Johnson. This also takes place in a school. I feel like there's a trend. I don't know, maybe school gives, you know, that makes sense because that's when everybody returns to school. This is another like academy where it's like a boarding school kind of. So the main character, Stevie, is really interested in true crime. So she decides she's going to make a project that involves a murder that happened here a long time ago. She's gonna figure out what happened because it's a cold case. So she does that for her senior project, I think. For the whole book, we're just trying to figure out a murder, and it's really entertaining. There's 3 books and then a companion book, and I think there's another one coming out. I don't really know what's going on there. I did not really like the companion book, The Box in the Woods. I'm gonna say that's like the weakest book in my personal opinion. But like the main 3 are fantastic. But this would, I think, I don't know, this would be more like, you should read this now because the 3rd book gives winter 100%. So you should just, you know, read this and spread it out until December, and you'll get the seasons there. The next book I have for you is The Unbecoming of Mara Dyer. Can't you even see the cover? Doesn't this feel fall? Like, I know it doesn't have any orange or whatever, but it has the like the filter, you know, the autumn filter that you would add to a picture. I don't know. So this is about a girl, Mara Dyer, and she had an incident and she forgot her memory. Yeah, she just forgot her memory. She lost her memory of this specific event and she's trying to get it back, but also, is there magic involved or is it just amnesia? Like, it was really entertaining, I'm not gonna lie. Like, for this, you just gotta enjoy it. You just gotta go through it and enjoy it, okay? But I haven't read book 3 yet and I still don't know what's going on. 100% don't know what's going on. Like, the full extent of the story, I don't know what's going on. So you gotta invest in the series. It's, should I just read the back? You wake up with no memory of the last few days. Your friends were killed in an accident that you miraculously survived. Your family has to move to another state to escape the fallout. You meet a mysterious boy who seems to know more about your past than you do. That sounds cringy. You start seeing things that can't possibly be there. You are afraid you are losing your mind. Can you keep it together? Mara Dyer is about to find out. Yes, did that sell you? It should have. Next one is the Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. Okay, first of all, the cover is autumn. The cover is fall all the way. 100% for the cover alone, but also because vampires. I don't know, vampires feel like fall? Like a spring vampire, does that sound correct to you? A Christmas time vampire, does that sound right to you? A summer vampire, does that sound right to you? They can't even go out in the sun. Just think about it. It was meant for the season. Next in the section we have Horrid by Katrina Leno. I looked up this book to look up the time frame because I could have sworn it was autumn. And I saw a review on Goodreads, it was like the perfect fall read, and I was like, yeah, it is. It's just very, like, it's chilly. I don't know how to explain it. It's chilly. And I remember a library scene where it was like raining outside and it was cold and she was getting a book from the library. And there's not a trope, I don't know, I'm not giving any spoilers, but there's one thing that's so fall, but I can't tell you what it is. That's gonna really help a lot of people there, I think. Okay, so the first book in the fantasy section, I would recommend Ninth House Light by Leigh Bardugo, because this is the ultimate dark academia ghosts book, and I find like ghosts obviously is gonna be like October time, so save this for then. Also, the next book is coming out, so you won't have to wait many years for it to come out as others did, so this is probably the perfect time. Like, you could read it, you know, October, wait a couple months, get the next book, and you'll be a happy person. Yeah, definitely fall. Wait, isn't there like, oh, okay, don't read anything, but look, it switches back to last fall. I knew I was onto something. I have no memory of it saying last. Well, I kind of did because I was looking for that specifically. There are 2 different POVs in this book. I'm not gonna say which is like why, but there are 2 POVs and one of them takes place in winter and then the other one takes place last fall. So I guess you could read it in either, but why not now? Why not sooner rather than later? So you can have this in your life sooner. Okay, so the next book I don't have physically, and I read it a long time ago, so I don't know if I could explain this well, but Serpent and Dove. Now, don't judge me, I enjoyed this book. I do have a couple problems with the book, but overall I had a good time. It's about an arranged marriage between a witch and a witch hunter. That's like the reason I think it's fall, because of witches. Like anything like that is like fall. So yes, Serpent and Dove. It's a fantasy romance. I haven't read book 2 or 3, so I don't know if it's gonna get more fantasy. It didn't really feel that fantasy, like, apart from the witches, obviously. It's enjoyable, okay? Next, this could potentially be the most fall out of all of these books. Okay, so I have An Enchantment of Ravens by Margaret Rogerson. I believe this might be the most most autumn fall book out of like all of these, because the main character, not the main character, the like guy main character who's not, he doesn't have a POV, he is like the autumn prince, I think, of the Feyland. I will preface this by saying I do not like this book at all, but I might be in the minority because I've seen a lot of people really love this book, and it's fairly short. Like, you can get through it really quickly. Theoretically, like, it sounds really good anyway. So yeah, it's about this girl, main character. She's a painter and she paints fae, and fae are not supposed to have any sort of like, what was it, emotion? Oh, okay, so they're not supposed to have any mortal sorrow. Anyways, so she draws the autumn prince with mortal sorrow in his eyes, and so she gets a lot of trouble for that because they're not supposed to have that. So the dude, his name is Rook, and he takes her away to the autumn court to go on trial. That's all I'm gonna say. If this sounds interesting to you, try it. Definitely autumn-y. The next book I have is Kingdom of the Wicked also by Carrie Maniscalco. Apparently she likes fall, I don't know. So this takes place in a point in time in Italy, I believe, and we follow twins. One of them gets murdered, so the other twin, who's our main character, she summons a demon to help her figure out which Prince of Hell killed her sister. So they kind of work together to figure out who killed her sister, while also not knowing 100% if it was the god that she summoned. So yes, you know, you got some Princess of Hell, so like October Halloween time, I don't know. And the third book I believe comes out this month, later September, so it would be perfect time. Like if you want to read the first two really quick, you can get the second one. It's called not the second one, you get the third one called Kingdom of the Feared, which has definitely the most Halloween cover out of all of them. The next book I have is The Beautiful by Renee Audier. Oh, don't look at the fingerprints on it. This is one of those weird books that are like matte. Anyways, I really enjoyed this. This also gives dark. This is vampires. This takes place in the 1870s in New Orleans. Chilly, I'm just saying. It's about vampires and a murderer going around the city. You don't know if it's a vampire. We don't know. We get the POV of whoever it is that is murdering people, and it's just really, it's kind of creepy, I'm not gonna lie, with the audiobook. I've talked about the audiobook for this a lot of times, but I really liked it, and I cannot find the audiobook for the second one, so I still have not read it. I'm still mad about it, but yes, definitely recommend this. And then lastly, for the fantasy section, I don't even know if this is considered fantasy. I don't know why I consider it literary fiction. Probably is. I don't know. The Invisible Life of Addie LaRue by V. Schwab. Another one where you might know my feelings, but literary fiction also just, I feel like fall, like unless it specifically has a season involved, they all give fall to me. I don't know why, they just do. So this is another one that it just does, because I can't remember anything specific about the seasons in this book. It could have been winter there could be snow everywhere and I would not have picked up on it. Don't know how to pitch this to you. If you've been wanting to read this, I would say now would be the time out of all year. I think now would be the time for this one. Now it's time for miscellaneous. Only have 3 books in this section, so, but then I'm going to be doing my TBR for fall itself, but I only have 5 books to say, and I don't need to give a synopsis because I haven't read them. So anyways, this is my last section for recommendations. We have My Dark Vanessa by Kate Elizabeth Russell. I'm definitely doing a reread of this because I need to tab it. Like, I have so many thoughts about this book. When I say what this is about, you're not gonna want to read it, but it's a literary fiction in the POV of the little girl. So she's 15 in this. We also see her when she's like 30 something, trying to deal with what happened to her, but she's 15 for a lot of the book, and she's in a relationship with like a 35-year-old man, her teacher, the most disgusting, horrific man ever. And you just gotta see kind of how he grooms her. I know this sounds so uninteresting. Well, it doesn't sound uninteresting. It sounds like, why would you read that? Understandable reaction. I don't know if I knew what this was when I read it. Like, before I read it, I don't know if I knew what it was, but I'm definitely glad I read it because it is such a well-written book. It's really good. I do remember a specific scene that involved a leaf, like a crispy leaf that fell off the ground that's now orange, but it's a falling leaf, whatever. That's why I think it's autumn. I would say if you're gonna read this, get your annotation out, get them tabs, get a pen, and get ready to tab this. I don't own the next 2, but we have Pumpkinheads, the graphic novel. I've already read this. I've read all of these. Why would I say I've already read this? Yes, I have. But I definitely want to reread this because it's a graphic novel. You could read it easily all the time, and I would recommend because it is really fun. So it's about these 2 friends who've been working at this like, what's it called? Like there's a petting zoo and like a pumpkin patch and a maze, that type of thing. I can't remember what it's called, but I've been to a couple of them. So fun. I haven't been in so long. Those are so fun. Anyways, so they kind of work there every time they open, and they're going to college, I believe, so it's their last year they're going to be doing it, so they're just having as much fun as possible. So yeah, it's so cute. It's so fun for fall. Like, this is the most fall book out of all of them, by the way, because it's like directly about it. So yes, if you want one to get you in the mood for fall in general, read that one first. And then lastly, one I have not actually read is the X Hex. Everyone says this is fall like because it's about a witch who's the main character. It's a romance book though, so I think it's a second chance romance, but as I said, I haven't read it. Don't really plan on it. I don't really like cozy fantasy romances like that. I don't think I would like that kind of thing, but somebody would. If you like that, read it. Okay, anyways, so that is all for my recommendations, but I have a couple books I do want to read in fall. Obviously I'm going to read more than this, or not even this, because I have a problem, but I have 5 books that I'm going to try and get to during fall. So the first book is The Witch Haven, because it's about witches and they go to I believe a school for witches. We have Once Upon a Broken Heart by Stephanie Garber. I've actually already read this, but I need to read it again because I already pre-ordered the second one, so I need to reread this to get into it. I gave it 5 stars, by the way, if you didn't know. Okay, I want to read A Deadly Education because it's also dark academia, but I've been wanting to read this for a while. I started reading it in like 2020, and since I was moving, I just kind of put it down, never picked it up again. So I definitely want to continue with that. And there's the 3rd book coming out soon, so I can get caught up. I'm excited. I want to get into this. I really like magical schools, and this sounds like a dark magic school because they could die at any moment. So love to see it. Next, 2 more. Next, I want to read A Curious Beginning, and then lastly, I want to read The Night Circus. I don't own this one either, which is unfortunate. I probably should because I actually like the cover of this, and I feel like I'm gonna really like it. But this is actually for a video as well that I'm gonna be doing with 2 someones that you might be able to guess who they are. So I do have to read this, but I also want to, so it works out for everyone involved. So anyways, that is it. Okay, that is it for this video. I hope you potentially got a recommendation out of it. I tried to put as many as I could think of in this just because hopefully you got at least a recommendation, or maybe like you already know about the book but you didn't know it was fall. So there you go. Hopefully you can pick it up now. Thank you guys for watching. Hope you have a wonderful autumn season and you pick up one of these books, at least one. And I'll see you in the next video. Bye.